good evening, welcome. I'd like to introduce Sueh Li Tan, who has been commissioned to design the 7th edition of SALT's embedded typeface, which are the 4 letters SALT that make up the main typeface Kraliçe. Kraliçe was originally commissioned to projects who put the embedded design into place for SALT, and they have been working with us to select the designers we then approached commission for each edition. So Sueh Li's will be designed in the next month, and then we'll be working with it from January 2014. So we invited her to speak tonight on multilingualism in Malaysia. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, November, for introducing. Hello everyone, I'm Sueh Li from Malaysia. And today I'm going to share about the multilingualism phenomenon in Malaysia, like the changing face of multilingualism and the function and the roles behind it throughout the different time frame and the different contexts. So, what is multilingualism? Multilingualism is, lingual means anything that related with speech and language, and multi means more than one. So it's like the coexistence and interaction of more than one language. And this is a research done by Typography. I'm from Typography. We are a type design and typography collective based in Malaysia, and we just started last year. And we start this research like a few months ago in multilingualism in Malaysia. And we do anything that is related with typography in relation with Malaysian culture. Our main objective is to search for the identity through typography and type design. And if you don't know where is Malaysia, so this is Malaysia. It's located in Southeast Asia. It's like below Thailand and next to Indonesia. And one of our uniqueness is we are a multiracial country. From this image, you can see a few women in their traditional costume, and we are mainly consist of Malay, Chinese, Tamil, and the two on the most left and most right is indigenous people from the Malaysian Borneo side. And maybe before that, before we go into the topic, I would like to show you guys a very short movie clip from this Malaysian movie, Sepak. It's directed by Yasmin Ahmad. It's a very, very Malaysian movie. Like you can get an overview like how is Malaysia like through this movie clip. And this film is about a love story. Sorry, I'll go back. This film is about a love story between this Chinese boy and this Malay girl. And then Sepak means is a Malay word, and it means slit eyes or Chinese eye in Malay. So this movie clip shows like how they met each other for the first time.
I'm looking for the Chinese movies. Do you see it? Excuse me? Excuse me? Yeah.
Mau beli video?
No, actually, I'm not beli kasut lah. Hari ini saya senang, dia saya gunung. Jual kata. Dia dengan cakap ini buat cisim. Apa cisim ni? Tak ada aku cakap berarti suka campur ke orang bahasa lain. Ya. Because you got PCD with Tadashi Commissioner.
Jangan panggil gua bos. My name is Jason.
Got another name also, right? Jason, do you have films with Tadashi Commissioner?
Got? You want Fallen Angels, Drinking Express, or Yes and No Sir?
Fallen Angels I see. Can I have Yes and No Sir, please?
You don't want Drinking Express?
No, I'll buy later lah. No money today, Jason. Yeah, Jason. Your face not like Takashi Kanina, whatever his name is also. Yeah. Kita mana Jason? CD.
Oh, sorry. What's that Yes and No Sir?
Nak ni nak? Tuan. Tak ada duit. I got some. It's okay. How much?
5.
Nak duit? I've got. Thank you. Engkau?
Sorry.
Dia cakap you. So cute. Okay lah. Tapi saya tak ada dia. Cakap lah best. You don't already know my taste, is it?
Miss, you take Drinking Express first. You watch it. If you don't like it, you can return it. I need to pay you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Canggih?
Done.
Okay, thank you.
Miss. Thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye-bye, Jason. Bye-bye, Takeshi. He likes you. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know me well enough to like me. But he's in love with me.
Okay, from this very short 3 minutes movie clip, you can find out from their conversation that there are a lot of code switching happening in the conversation. Means they mix a lot of languages like in the daily life conversation. Like just now you can hear there's English, and then besides that there's also Cantonese. Cantonese is a Chinese dialect, and also English and also Malay. So this kind of phenomenon happens very common in Malaysia. Like during the conversation between two Malaysians, we like to mix like everything in our sentence. This is another like good example. It appeared on the magazine cover, Time Out. And this sentence is, wait Macha, you want to makan here or tapao? It's actually a mix of like 4 languages, Chinese, Tamil, English, and Malay. You know, wait is a very casual way of Chinese people addressing their close friend. And then the second word matcha is means brother in Indian. It's like, hey brother, is an Indian way of addressing their close friend. And makan means eat in Malay, and then tapao is take away in Chinese. So if you have chance to listen to conversation between two Malaysians, this kind of situation is completely understandable and acceptable like among us. So we even have a term like to describe like the mixture of our language, which is called Rajak language. Rojak means a mixture. It's actually a traditional dish, traditional salad dish in Malaysia. It's a mix of various kinds of fruits and vegetables, like you can see in the picture. So maybe I give you a very brief context about languages and scripts used in Malaysia. So these are the major languages that we speak and we use in Malaysia, which is Malay, English, Chinese, and Tamil. For Malay, it exists in two forms, which is Rumi and Jawi. Jawi is Malay in Arabic script, and then Rumi is Latinized Malay. And the one at the bottom, the three one is various Indian script, Punjabi, Telugu, and Malayalam. You can see this only in Indian community area where they stay. These three are more minority languages used in Malaysia. And Malay or Bahasa Melayu is our national language, our very first language. It's also a mother tongue of Malay ethnic group in Malaysia. And Jawi, it exists in Southeast Asian region since 14th to 18th century. And it came to Southeast Asia because of the spread of Islam. And then during that time, Malay is the lingua franca in Southeast Asia. And people need to learn Malay in order to understand Islam and to read the Quran, the holy book. So besides the religious purpose, Malay also exists in various manuscripts and also literature. So in a way, Islam, this religion, also helped the growth of Malay in Southeast Asia. And Jawi remains popular in Southeast Asia until the colonialists they introduced Rumi to the region. And then Rumi means Latinized Malay. And the reason they introduced Rumi is because during that time we are approaching independence, and they pursue the use of Rumi over Jawi to unite the people from every races to achieve independence. So you can see the magazine or publication during that time, that this is the magazine Mastika in 1961. It's still in Jawi. And then when it comes to 1974, this magazine already replaced by the Rumi script. So nowadays, Jawi still exists in Malaysia, but as an alternative script, mostly in religious purpose, and also in some very Malay populated rural area. For example, this is in east coast of Malaysia, and then Islam is their main religion, and you can see they use Jawi as their day-to-day usage. And this is our second language, English, and it is sort of like a side product of colonialism. So during the British, they came to colonize Malaya. You can see a lot of posters, publications that promote about the Malay states in English. The main language during that time is in English. So this is the guidebook to the Federated Malay States as the land of opportunity for plantations, minor tourists. And this is a tourism posters during that time, and you can see it's mainly in English. So next, how do Chinese and Tamil, the language, came to Malaya? It is also a side product of colonialism. This because during the British colonization, they need a lot of laborers for the rubber plantations and also the tin mining industry. So they import laborers from South China and South India to Malaya. So this is how the language came to Malaysia, and then some of them stay until today. So that's why we become a multiracial country. And besides the written language, spoken language is also important in Malaysia. And this is Chinese dialects that we speak in Malaysia, because different Malaysian Chinese, they came from different province or region in South China. So different province, they speak different dialect. So this is how the southern Chinese dialects were imported to Malaysia. We have Cantonese, Hokkien, Teochew, Hakka, Hainanese, and etc. So, due to our very special language background, like every Malaysian, they are quite fluent in more than one languages. At the following slides, I will share about like the changing phase of multilingualism in Malaysia. And we can find the very first multilingual phenomena like started since 14th to 18th century. And during that time, there is already some bilingual word list and dictionary exist. Yeah, this is the map of where the Malay language is spoken. And in this area, Malay is the lingua franca of the language. And then during that time, a lot of traders, businessmen, or nomadic, they came to Southeast Asia like for business purposes. Like they want to do business with the local people, and some of them want to spread the religion, like for example Islam or Christian. And then to fulfill this need, they need to learn the language. So that's why there are some bilingual dictionary and word lists exist to help them to master the language. So this is the very first Italian Malay word list. It's done by Antonio Pigafetta. And inside this Magellan's voyage, you can find some very old version of Malay words inside this journal. For example, Patang means afternoon, and Bukit means mountain. So besides that, there is also English and Chinese word list. And the interesting of this word list is it doesn't explain the meaning of the word, but it's just a transliteration of the pronunciation into Chinese. So this one kind of like teach the people how to pronounce the word. And the very first bilingual dictionary exists around 1701. It's done by Thomas Barry. He's an Englishman who stayed in Southeast Asia region about 19 years. So one of his contribution is he translate the Jawi to Rumi, so that more people can access to the dictionary. And the purpose he do this dictionary is to help the other Englishmen or the other foreigners to learn the Malay language in order to do the business with the local people. And you can see he even take the effort to put the accent onto some vowels of the Malay, to indicate the pronunciation. So at the end of the dictionary, there's some Arabic characters, word list there. So the role of multilingualism during that time is very basic. It's just to fulfill the need for the foreigners to master a language, like to do these things in Southeast Asia region. So when it comes to British colonialism, the role of multilingualism changed again. During that time, massive Malayan graphic propaganda were produced during emergency period, which is around 1845 to 1960. And what is emergency period? Emergency period is a period where it's a fight between Malayan Communist Party and colonial government, which is British. And then what is caught in between them is the people, the innocent people. So the fight, they fight with each other, they want to gain more supporters from the people. So and then most of the Communist Party, they were Chinese. So you will find a lot of graphic propaganda. They were set in Chinese. And during the early stage of emergency period, the government, they start to use a military approach, which they try to scare or threatening the communists and also the people to surrender or to cooperate with the government. So you can see these posters. It shows the one on the right. It shows that the people who have been hanged and killed. And then this one is those people who are wanted by the government. So next, because the government need a lot of military power, for example, soldier, police, home guard, and volunteers to fight with the communists. So they start to launch a massive recruitment campaign to recruit the military power. So during that time, the posters are in multilingual, but then they are in separate posters. So for example, this one. So you can kind of get a sense that during this time, the people is still kind of separated, different race of people is separated. And when it goes to more middle stage, the government start to change their strategy. They want to use a more softened approach, to talk to the communists and the people. They start to use hearts and minds strategy. For example, this is a rewards program. If the people, they manage to help a communist to surrender, or they manage to kill a communist, and they will get rewarded money by the government. So you start to see the leaflet is in multilingual. So this is safe conduct pass. This pass means these pass were distributed by the aircraft to the jungle for the communists, because the communists, they hide in the jungle. And what is interesting about this safe conduct pass, it consists of 5 languages, and English, Malay, Chinese, and Tamil, and then we still cannot identify what is the last language about. So when we are approaching to independence in 1957, the strategy played by government changed again. Their approach changed to, they want to promote unity, a sense of identity, and they want to promote Malayanization throughout the graphic propaganda. So from the poster, for example, this one, you can see first you can see from the illustration that the image of the country, of the identity of the nation start to appear. Like there are people from a few races, and there are traditional Malay house and behind coconut trees. Besides that, the multilingualism here also plays a role to convey a sense of identity and nation. So after that, we finally achieved our independence in 1957. And this is a poster to celebrate the independence, but it's in Jawi mainly. So after our independence, the spirit of the nationality remains very high. So the publications and the propaganda still mainly in multilingual. And this is a screenshot of scenes from this film, Bapa Malaysia, which is the father of Malaysia, Tunku Abdul Rahman. He's the one who fought for the independence of Malaysia. And you can see the banner behind, the election banner, is in multilingual. So when it comes to modern day, so the literacy rate nowadays are getting higher. So the multilingualism, the phenomenon will getting lower, because when everyone know like more than one languages, it's not necessary like to show all the languages in one medium. This is one example of a bank logo, which is public bank in Malaysia, and that one is the logo in 1966, the old one with 3 languages, and then this is the new logo with only in English. So you can see the changes, like how multilingualism change according to the literacy rate. So the function of multilingualism in modern days now goes back to very, very basic function. It helps people to navigate in informational space. For example, in packaging, it's necessary for the people to know about the ingredient info and the product info on the packaging. For example, this is packaging for a bread in Malaysia. And the multilingual packaging can be very complicated sometimes, because you have to fit like all kind of information and plus translated in different languages in such a small space. So prioritize is very important in this case. So you have to prioritize a certain language according to the target audience of the product. And this is another one. It's our childhood snack food, muruku ikan. And the packaging is very nostalgic. And you will see Jawi there, because this product exists like a very, very long time, since 1975. So the product name was translated into 3 languages. And in Malaysia, you will see multilingual signages like everywhere, and there are various kinds of signages. And the most common one is this warning sign. You will see it consists like up to 6 languages, which is symbol, Latin, Malay, English, Chinese, Tamil, and Punjabi. And the warning sign usually appear to be very straightforward and direct, and there's no hierarchy, like every language is equal. And this one is an interesting one from the type design point of view. It's a stencil type. And we also found out like it was used by a designer like in a product design. This is a tool inspired by this warning sign. And in the road sign of Malaysia, it's still mainly in Malay, but you will find a small translation like either below in different languages. So from this, you will get a sense of like what kind of communities stay there. And besides that, like in a lot of shop front signage, you will see like multilingual signage very often. For example, this one is like when you see it, you know it's kind of related with photo frame. Like they are quite smart that they use their own product, which is the photo frame, to design their own signage. And they try to describe what kind of service they have in both English and Chinese language. And in a more lower range business, for example, this is Indian barbershop, which target to more like lower class of people. Like if you want to get a very cheap haircut, then you will go to this Indian barbershop. So when they target to low class people, so the literacy rate is also low. So they need to have their signage in a lot of languages so that they can communicate with their target audience. And this is another one that we found in the neighborhood. This is a very interesting store, and they sell like everything from coconut drinks to newspaper, and they even sell like boots or working shoes. And they also provide like photocopy service and lamination. And this owner, he's not a designer, but then he actually like draw his own signage, and he also write the copy like himself. Like he tried to include like all the service, all the products he's selling into this signage, and also try to like promote like for example, the first line in pink color says that like reasonable price, and then the blue color one says that the working boot that he sell have 6 months warranty. So in traditional Chinese house in Malaysia, you will find this entry door sign, which shows where is the origin or where's the province of the family came from. And sometimes you'll find the entry door sign in different language. For example, this one, there is Chinese and then Malezya'da, and then we suspect this family is from Baba Nyonya. Baba Nyonya means a Chinese person who married to a Malay person. So it's like a combination of two cultures that you can see from the signage. And besides that, from a religious side, like temple or Indian temple or mosque or this Hindu cemetery, you will find multi-language sign. So this is Chinese temple. So in this 21st century, so the role of multilingualism kind of like changed to very, very basic one. So we try to find a few examples to re-examine and redefine the meaning behind the multilingualism and what does its roles when it comes to social-political context. Okay. In Malaysia, it's not a very common thing for us to protest or demonstrate on the street because it's illegal to do so. but things change like in recent years. In these 2 years, people start dare to go out on the street to fight for the unfair and to voice out their opinion. And this is one of the campaign done by Petaling Street Community Art Project. This project is about because this what you see here is a cultural heritage site in the heart of Kuala Lumpur, and then this street is called Jalan Sultan, and the government they want to demolish partially this street to build a mega office tower. But then this street have a very rich historical value which exists over 100 years already, and this place is also the first place where Chinese base its roots in Kuala Lumpur. So there are a lot of demonstrations and carried out through art events. For example, this one. And from the banners, you will see the message will usually written in a few languages, because we want to show that this is the voice from all the nations, from all the people, regardless of the race. And there's also some posters stick around massively in the city. And this is another one, anti-Linas campaign. Linas is an Australian rare earth mining company, and then in last year, 2012. Our government gave the permit for them to build their factory in one of the states in Malaysia, that will be very bad for the people around that area, because the disposal of the rare earth elements will have this radioactive effect to the people. So there is also massive demonstration campaigns to try to stop this thing happening in Malaysia. And this is an interesting one that is on the beach, and actually the black and white thing is coffins, and these are the funeral banners in different languages. So what we try to convey is written there turn Linas to ash. And there's also some artists who try to demonstrate through their artworks. For example, this is by an artist called Shiko, and you can see her illustration. There's various kind of races of people, and there's also various language. And the last one is the sign language. And during our general election, a lot of campaigns also run in multilingual. For example, this is a cover from a magazine. These words means vote in different languages. They try to appeal all the people to vote for their rights. And this is another one done by a designer, and you can see clearly that is inspired by the warning sign that I showed earlier. And he tried to promote the idea of change, freedom, vote, and imagine, and also cycling, because he is a bike lover. And I saw this from a recent art exhibition. And this is an artist called Hui Chia Yin. He tried to tell a story of the nation with a story. That you can see there's a mother holding a baby and there's 4 babies on the legs. Actually, the babies is a metaphor of different races of Malaysia, and the mother is kind of represent like the government. So when you see the close up, this is the story in different languages to tell like the treatment of the babies. So, what typographic practice can be developed from Malaysia's multilingualism in the future? This is what we have been thinking of. So we start our first multilingual workshop just in the last month, September, in Penang, which is North Malaysia. And we want to explore the possibilities of multilingualism in typography in Malaysia. So we invite the participants, like they are non-designers and also designers, to come up with a statement and then translate the statement in various languages. We try to pair up like different participants with different language ability, so the content of the statement will be rich. So this is some words came up by the participants. And in Penang, we speak Chinese. We speak a dialect called Hokkien, which is a very dominant spoken language in Penang. So you can see the influence of Hokkien in their works. And then we have some findings from the workshop. For example, this one, the statement is, even a quiet dog can kill their ubi. And it consists of, you can see a statement can consist of different languages. And we find out that the boundary of language can sometimes be very ambiguous. And then this is another artwork. It came up with 2 guys, and the statement is unbearable joy of everlasting orgasm. And from this piece, the participant came up with a hybrid language, which we think it could be a new language in the future for Malaysia. Let me explain. You can see the first word is pleasure in Chinese, and then the second word is pleasure in Malay, and then they kind of combine them together and became a new word. So from the workshop, we kind of found out these 2 main points, the boundary of language can sometimes be ambiguous, and there is a new possibilities of creating new language because of multilingualism in Malaysia. And we will try to find out more through our ongoing research in the future. Okay. That's it for my presentation. Thank you.
Any questions?
What's happening with the post-print situation, like digital space, web experience, in terms of how multilingualism works there?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
On the digital space, how does it work?
In digital space, yeah, you can find the multilingual phenomenon on the screen on the website. For example, on our airline website, and And then usually in a multilingual website, the language doesn't like keep along together. Like there is an option for you to choose, like you want, for example, you want English, then you click English and you appear in English. So multilingualism doesn't really like common in digital space yet in Malaysia. Any question?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you.